We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
I may not be a millionaire. I may not have a brand new Frigidaire. My clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one who says it is insignificant.
I'm joined here by my co-host, Olita Robinson, and recording artist. Welcome to the show.
Hi there, how are you?
Welcome to another Sunday
Welcome
of Joy
to
in My
another
House.
Sunday, and I need the Lord's grace because I feel like just taking a nap. I've been busy. How about you?
It's been a busy
Oh man,
week.
I tell you.
You know, I said this week I'm just going to really focus on buckling down for the show, and I did, and I've had a lot of successes and a lot of new bookings. But really, emotionally, I'm drained. I really had to be in service today and listen, and I was really happy to be in service today and really get a good message today, which was that we're really put here on earth, and I always say for relationships, but to disciple to one another and to make others disciples.
That's right. But to have a personal relationship with Christ. I think people think of disciples sometimes as just this stark discipline and just, follow God. But we want them to have a relationship that he loves them and to follow him so that he can disciple. That's what's important.
Right. Yeah. In that's what you were. You were a catalyst to me finding Christ. So.
Amen. I'm so happy about that, and it's just amazing every week to see how God is using you and how he's using this show, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is an amazing platform that we've been blessed to be a part of. And
he's been helping me to be, like, the last 2 weeks I've been going out and giving support to other people's ministries, and I'm really blessed by that.
Well, if you're just joining us out of service, we want to thank you out there, all our listeners and viewers, for being a part of the joy that we have in our house. Now, you can follow us on Facebook /Joy in My House. You can follow us. If you're listening to us, you can actually stream us live visually and audible through ustream.tv /Joy in My House or /LA Talk Live. We want to recap last week's show.
Wow.
We had an amazing show last week.
Yeah, we did. And it's coming up this week, right?
Yes, the opening of the movie Home Run.
That's right.
Is April 19th. And we actually got quite a few people from my CR. At the end of each step study book that we finish, we like to take a trip. And I said, instead of going out to dinner, I'm not a big eater. I said, instead of going out to dinner, why don't we go watch the opening of Home Run, the
right?
movie?
Yeah. They had Micah here last week.
Micah Bernard, associate producer of Home Run. What an amazing film.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get out last Monday to see the premiere, but I will be there on, was it Wednesday?
I think it opens the 19th.
Oh, the
19th, which is a Friday.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to watch the screening again for the second time. And
did you go that Monday?
Yes, I went that Monday.
Oh, good. Okay. Were there a lot of people there?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got to meet John Brent. No, I not got to meet him, but I got to say hello to John again. And he introduced me to Carol, which is the executive producer. Oh,
wow. Okay.
And they did a Q&A.
Well, you just
afterwards.
get around, don't you?
I'm trying.
Hey, I tell you, see, I'm the one. I sit back and I chat. And he runs around, has coffee, meets everybody. Hey,
well, I think there's a balance. Yeah, I think there's a balance.
It is. I'm glad you got to go.
And you know who I got to meet, which I was very happy to meet, was John Baker.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that was really cool. John Baker.
Love to you, John. Love to you. I mean, God really used you in a powerful way.
So I asked him if he'd be interested in coming on the show, and I wanted to surprise you. He said yes.
Oh, Merry Christmas. And I'm happy what we're doing today. You had to bring this beautiful woman. How dare you? How dare you? This beautiful, stately blonde walks in here. How dare you?
We have this great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Sharah here she actually sang at Saddleback Church.
Oh, wow.
Is going to be
a lot of people from
singing.
Saddleback.
A lot of
That's
people
cool.
from Saddleback. I mean,
Love
it's a great ministry.
To Rick Warren and his family. We don't want to oversee that too. You know?
And I think Sharah tonight's going to do a tribute to him.
Oh, is she?
To his son.
Oh,
yes.
good.
So
Okay.
we're going to have that at the end of the show.
Good. Maybe I can ask her if she knew him a little bit or whatever. We'll see.
Well, we have a great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah's going to be singing off her new CD. Her new CD is, I want to get this right, I Will Rise. And she'll be singing her single, I Will Rise.
That's right.
Off her new CD. And her mom is here too, supporting her, Michelle.
Yeah.
We want to always give a shout out to all the support.
Yeah, because she's doing her thing, Thanks, Mom. She reminds me of an actress, too. I have to think about it. I'll let you know, Michelle. I'll let you know. Beautiful actress.
Well, like I said, I want you guys to link up with us out there, our listeners and our viewers. Find us on Facebook /join my house. You can find us on latalklive.com. We have all of our archived episodes there. If you go on shows, join my house, you can see all the shows that we had, because we've had some amazing guests and we're continuing to have amazing guests. So we want to thank you for being part of the joy that we have in our house.
Right.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we're going to have Sarah here. And we're going to talk about her ministry and her music ministry and the things that she's doing now and singing off her new CD, I Will Rise. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Join My House.
And
stay tuned.
Don't forget to come back.
Been thinking about us for far too long. Been thinking about us and what went wrong. We're still together and trying so hard, but something changed. We're both on guard. Wish we could go back to the way we were. When our love was new and pure. And I miss you, even though you're here. And I miss you, even though you're near. I miss your smile, and I miss your style, because I miss you. I see your face in your inviting arms, but I'm not falling for your old charms. Circle and circle, no common ground. Baby, let's get off this merry-go-round. I'm tired of fighting and how it's been, but my patience are running thin. And I miss you, even though you're here. And I miss you, even though you're near.
Do you suffer from degenerative diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, fibroid tumors, high cholesterol, genital herpes, or a plethora of other diseases that rob you of a quality life? If so, then visit the website of herbalist Tahuti Ma'atra at dhealthstore.com and open the door to natural healing at an affordable price. dhealthstore.com has over 1,800 products created by herbalist Tahuti Ma'atra, specifically designed to help you heal the natural and safe way. At dhealthstore.com, you'll find everything from herbal formulas and cleanses, such as Tahuti's famous full body detox, as well as herbal teas, extracts, natural body butters, lotions, creams, children's product, hair care products, and of course, sexual enhancement products for both men and women. So visit the website of Tahuti Ma'atra, dhealthstore.com, or call toll free at 1-888-823-9416. dhealthstore.com.
Are you ready to enjoy the Maui lifestyle? You can have it all by owning real estate on the Paradise Island of Maui. Dennis Rush, a 22-year Maui resident and real estate broker, brings his wealth of experience and market knowledge to add value to your Maui real estate understanding, providing a level of service as unique and exceptional as the island of Maui itself. The magical island of Maui was voted the most exclusive resort island in the world by Condé Nast Traveler, and keep in mind, Maui is only a simple, non-stop flight away. Hawaii Business Magazine Top 100 Realtors awarded Dennis Rush the 2011 fourth top realtor on the island of Maui. Go to www.dennisrush.com to view all of the amazing properties currently available in the Maui MLS system. Whatever your needs or desires, Dennis Rush will provide a private consultation for any Maui properties your heart desires. You will be in good hands. Once again, go to www.dennisrush.com. That's www.dennisrush.com. Contact Dennis today to start your Maui lifestyle now. Dennis Rush, proud sponsors of the Dawn Christie Show and LA Talk Live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by my co-host and recording artist, Lolita Robinson.
Very glad to be here. I'm excited and enjoying this music. This is beautiful.
And if you just heard our music, it's performed and played, recorded by our in-studio guest, Sharah Longsert.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for coming out to my performance and then inviting me on. So
That is so cool. Yeah, I remember that. You have to tell me, refresh my memory and tell the audience how you guys met.
I always like to say how I met my guests and how we got them to come on the show. I was following you through Bobby, Lolita's keyboardist that she's performed and worked with before.
Yeah, and Bob's. Boy, Bobby, we got to get Bobby on here. He's
definitely
really the catalyst. And he's a real clown. Bobby.
So I was following Bobby Cruz on his Facebook because he's a friend of ours and saw that you had some up and coming events and you were working on some stuff. So I decided to reach out to you and sent you a Facebook message and you said, yeah, I have this event that's coming out. Would you like to come? And I went and bought my ticket. And
was it at Saddleback?
No, her event was actually a private event. She was doing a contest called Cabaret.
Cabaret Idol, and it was up at the Hollywood Bar and Grill. And every Saturday, every Saturday we had to be there. Every Sunday, and then we had to perform and basically compete like American Idol.
Oh, and it's called Cabaret? What? Cabaret Idol.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he came and saw the Oscar night.
Oh.
And, you know, it's Oscars, so we picked songs from the Oscars to sing, and I sang on my own since it was nominated for an Oscar.
From Fame?
Les Mis.
Oh, Les Mis. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry how old I am. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
And you did a great job. Let me tell you, out of all the candidates up there, she was the one that sounded most professional, most fine-tuned.
I'm sure. I hear it here. I don't even have to tell me that. I hear her when she's singing.
Oh,
How did it go? How'd the night go?
It actually went really, really well.
Okay.
The whole entire night. I really felt very strong about my performance because I practice on my own just because I've always wanted to sing it, but I've never actually got a chance to sing it live a lot.
Okay.
Wow.
Because you'll always get like compared like, oh, the Broadway star or like the person in the movie.
That
and
takes a lot of courage. It does.
Yeah. So I was really happy with how it went.
Good for
I felt
you.
like it was very a conversational type of song because it is.
Yes, it is.
So
it's an incredible song.
And I felt like, you know, I was able to really convey what that song meant to me that night. So
made it your own. That's
and now,
it.
how far did you go on the show? Let's mention that.
I went all the way to the very end, and I came in second place.
What?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well,
I don't think there's any second place people out there. Okay. First place. Amen. That's cool that you did it. That takes a lot of gumption.
Oh yeah, we like the last night we had to sing 2 songs, and then if we were chosen to go on, we had to sing a finale, and then the judges got to pick who won, and I was chosen to go on, and my final song I sang was Defying Gravity from Wicked.
Wow. Girl, you are really you are bold. Go on up there. Good for you. How many judges? How many people were in it?
There were, we started out, I think, with 15 people, and it got boiled down to 3 at the very end. So
Were these professional judges? I mean,
yeah, professional judges. Every week they changed. 2 of them always stayed the same. One was a recording artist, I forget her name, and the other one was the producer of the show, James Mooney.
Wow.
But he had people from Rent on there as judges, or from Universal people on there as judges. So we were
Sarah, that's huge.
It was very scary every week.
I bet it was. That takes a lot of, and then to sing these big blockbuster Broadway shows.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I was very impressed when we sat down and had coffee. I met yourself and your mother, and we sat down and we talked about you coming on the show. You're so independent. You're so motivated, which was really impressive, which I thought you'd be great on the show because of that. So congratulations on your fortitude.
Thank you.
Delightful spirit and everything. You keep that.
Yeah.
You keep that. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Well, we always like to start off kind of a little bit about your history. Where'd you grow up? A little bit of your family of origin.
Well,
Where are you from?
I'm a born and raised California girl.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you could tell.
I could tell.
A little bit California.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so born and raised California girl. And I was raised in Orange County, and I actually grew up in a family of 5. It was my mom, my dad, and my 2 brothers. I'm middle child.
Okay.
And my childhood was basically pretty hectic, I would say. It wasn't normal by any stretch of the imagination.
Such as?
Well, my school life wasn't very nice. It was very bullyful.
Oh, no.
And
wow.
we actually had to be taken out of school because there was something very bad that happened in middle school that we had to get the police involved, and I was taken out.
To you?
Yeah. and I had to be taken out of school. But that was actually a blessing because I was able to quit school early, not quit, but I graduated early and I just went straight to college. So like now I'm almost finished with college at 20.
So this happened in high school?
No, middle school.
Middle school. So you didn't go to high school? You were homeschooled?
I did not go to high school. I went straight to college.
Wow, my goodness.
Now
this is really getting... Now, she's not only beautiful, talented, but she's...
Yep,
wow,
so,
I'm glad God used that.
Yeah.
Because it comes in your music. It has to, that experience. I'm sure you don't want to go into detail, but what about kids that are being bullied?
Well,
that's a message.
Well, I mean, like, one of the main reasons I was bullied is because I was diagnosed with autism in 3rd grade, and which is really late, but it, like, back in, like, the 90s when I was growing up, like, it was still, like, a new thing. Like, no one, like, well, what the heck is autism? We don't know what this is. Like, research was still being done. So, normally kids are diagnosed, like, when they're in, like, kindergarten, preschool, but, like, when I was growing up, they were still learning about it. So, I was diagnosed really late in 3rd grade. And
what were some of the symptoms? Because looking at you, I thought autism was you're inward, you don't like to be touched, and you're everything but.
Well, that's a thank you to 8 years of therapy. So, so yeah.
You know this man. You know how to become. You just do.
So yeah, 8 years of therapy. A lot of fun things happened there. Like one of the things that my mom was so happy when this was over with was that I used to stare at people all the time like this, like and stare at you.
You're kidding.
Once I learned that looking at somebody was a very good indication that you were listening. So once I learned that, my eyes were always really big and was looking at you. But that was me saying like, I'm really, really focused on what you're saying. So I'm not going to look away from you and I'm going to have my eyes really big. And then my mom was like, help her stop it. It's really creepy. Like she can't do that. She will never have a relationship looking at people like that. So they taught me like how to do like an eye swap where like you look at somebody, but then you look away and then you look back. So it's still an indication of like you're listening. And then she's like, well, my therapist, she said, you can't look at somebody like this all the time. And I was like, but I'm showing them that I care about what they're saying.
That's a big deal for you. I'm sure it was a big deal for you to even be able to do it.
Yeah. And so she's like, I know, but like put your like relax your eyelids. And I'm like, but now I feel like I'm about to go to sleep. And she's like, well, that's how we talk. Like you don't have to do this in order to tell somebody that you're listening. And I was like, well, now I feel like I'm sleeping all the time, but whatever, if that's what normal people do.
How hard. I mean, this is really touching my heart.
Yeah. So a lot of like little nuances like that and like things like with my body, like I'm very rhythm orientated, like lots of moving, rocking, things like that. Like every little thing about me had to be looked at and tweaked a little bit. So.
Oh, wow. Sarah,
but like Lolita said, meeting her, you would never think.
I didn't know what to think. I mean, I'm just speechless. This is awesome. I'm so glad that you're sharing this. So when you were in the 3rd grade, you didn't have you obviously couldn't look at people, or you were more inward, or what?
All throughout my life, like my mom knew I was very different. Actually, she thought I was the devil's spawn, and she actually bought a book, and we still have it, I think, that said what to do before it's too late.
That's funny.
Why? Because you were angry?
I was angry, very like she couldn't talk to me because like she didn't know how to talk to me, and so it was such a relief for her to realize that I was diagnosed with something, and I wasn't the spawn of Satan.
You just didn't know how to communicate, and they didn't.
They didn't know.
A lot of triggers, a lot of things. Were you overstimulated?
Very overstimulated, like fluorescent lights. Like they used to bother me because I have very sensitive hearing. Like, and the light would overstimulate me, and lots of sound overstimulated me, and I would go crazy. So it was quite a blessing for her to figure out what was wrong with me, but it didn't make school life any easier.
I bet the kids were unmerciful, cruel, vicious.
Yeah.
Well, let's continue with that because after school, after your high school, you ended up really getting into music and ended up getting a scholarship to go to the Debbie Gibson camp.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this because this was a great story and a lot
were
of
you musical before that?
My mom
As he gets into that?
My mom always knew that like I needed an outlet, and we tried sports for a very long time, and that never worked. I would always just pick daisies in the fields, and they would be like, Sarah, you're supposed to be goalie. You freaking blocked the ball. And I'm like, what? There's a ball? So it was pretty bad. But my neighbor suggested that maybe I would go into a local community theater in Irvine. And so we went there, and I really just exploded there. Like, wonderfulness was coming out. I was able to talk to people. I actually started making friends. It was a blessing. And my mother was like, what's going on with this child? Like,
you had
she
never
found
sung
something.
before? Because that voice that you have is
beautiful. Never sang
you never
before.
sang.
Never was on stage. Never had an audience. And so when we found that out, my mom was watching, like, after like a year or so of doing that, my mom was watching an episode of Dr. Phil, and Debbie Gibson was on, and she was promoting her camp Electric Youth. And so my mom's like, okay, what do I do? Like, that sounds like a good idea.
But
so
how do you go from A to Z?
How do we go from A to Z?
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, and plus it was in LA, which is not safe for kids, especially one that's still mentally handicapped.
Well, what is the camp for? Well, what is the camp for?
It's actually her camp for the youth.
So just not autistic youth? Just
No,
youth.
just the youth. It's a music camp for the youth, and your mom decided to put you in.
Yeah, it's a camp for like musical theater, for pop, dancing, like all genres of music. And she dedicates like the whole entire like 2 weeks or so for this camp. Like, you get different classes, songwriting, musical theater, like how to audition, like tons and tons of stuff. And when I auditioned, I had no idea who Debbie Gibson was.
Wow.
So I go,
well, isn't that great though? Sometimes that's better, because then you.
But let's tell that story, because I think it's very funny
yeah.
that your mom even mentioned it.
it was my first big audition ever. And so I go and I have my
so
sheet
touched by
music,
this.
and I go and I just walk in my cute little dress, and I go like, okay, I have sheet music and I'm here to sing. And like, I was, taking voice lessons at the time, so I'm a high soprano, and so I was like, I'm here to sing Vanilla Ice Cream from She Loves Me. And they didn't have a pianist because everybody else who came in was doing it to tracks. So
wow.
I come in and they're like, oh, we didn't hire a pianist. We kind of let him go because nobody was bringing tracks in. And so this beautiful woman from the audience stands up and she says, oh, don't worry, I'll play for you. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I'm like, sweet. And so she comes up and she's like, what's your name, sweetie? And I'm like, my name's Sarah. What's yours? And she's like, and at this point I'm not looking at her, because I'm nervous, and I'm still going through therapy. So like, I still don't know a lot of things.
I'm touched by this story.
And so I say, oh, I'm Sarah. What's your name? And she's like, well, my name's Deborah. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a nice name.
Know who she was.
No idea who she was. And she plays for me, and I sing, and I leave. And my mom's like, well, how was it? Like, are you okay? Like, touching me, like, are you okay? Like, is everything all right? Because still at that time. And I said, well, this lovely, beautiful, kind of older woman played the piano for me, and she's like, well, did she tell you her name? And I was like, yeah, she said her name was Deborah. And my
mom was flipped.
No, my mom did flip. She stopped the car.
Michelle's going, yes, I did. Yes.
She stopped the car and she was like,
she did the look.
She was like, who played the piano for you? And I was like, this lovely old woman named Deborah. Yeah. And I'm like 12 at the time, and I'm like,
oh, I didn't know you were so young.
I was very young, and I said she was beautiful though, and I was like, she had this wonderful like beautiful eyes, and like she played the piano wonderfully. Mom, you have no idea. And she's like, Deborah Gibson just played the piano for my daughter. Oh my God,
that is amazing.
But the story goes on, because I did want to touch base on. Well, so your mom. So you auditioned. She got a scholarship to go.
Full scholarship.
Full scholarship. But then her mom decided not to let her go.
Really? Why?
Well, because like when I got a full scholarship, because Deborah had heard about like my mental disability, and she really wanted me to come because she said, I really think music will open up multiple doors for this young woman. I really do believe that. And my mom's like, well, that's very nice. But it's not safe, because we were right on Sunset, and
you would have to be without parental.
I would, because parents were not allowed in the camp.
I don't blame Michelle. My hat goes off to you.
Yeah,
I don't
and
blame you.
she said-
absolutely.
And I was still going through therapy at the time and like still just starting it too. And my mom's like, I'm sorry, but there's no way I am letting my handicapped daughter go to a camp with a ton of other kids
With no supervision.
without parental supervision. And then
I wouldn't do it, but you know what? Go ahead, Mama.
No.
Right on.
But the cool thing is, Deborah actually, she said, okay, well, I really think that this young lady needs to come to this camp. It will do many things for her. So they actually, Deborah's mom and my mom talked, and they put in all of these security measures.
Oh,
So
Deborah.
yeah, so it was wonderful.
And your mom.
And so like,
And it should have been anyway. I think it's dangerous for people to do this with these kids.
well, no, that there was, but like not the security measures that I needed.
Right.
So like there were.
Which is, you know, for other people out there who, this is amazing, don't you think, Joel? For
I
other
agree.
people who have children who may have these disabilities,
And
but not
people
to
are-
be afraid to step out.
Right. And not to be afraid like your mother was to say, you know what, it's not safe.
That's
And,
right.
You know, if these security measures get in place, then, you know, I'll consider it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents are quick to say, oh, yeah, okay, what an opportunity.
No,
But
no,
your mother
Michelle, go
was
ahead.
your mother was
Yep.
more.
She was more concerned with you as her daughter in the Lord, as opposed to throwing you out there in show business.
Yep.
I'm so blessed. So, what were some of the safety measures? I know you want to.
Well, sometimes when I get really overstimulated, like in school, like I've run away from school multiple times, like because we lived right up the street, and I would literally just run home because I just got overstimulated. And sometimes when that happens, I literally do just run, and it's definitely not safe for a young kid who's mentally handicapped to get lost in Hollywood. So they made sure, like, even though they had security at the door, they had security outside the door. So just in
sure
case the
you were-
security at the door didn't catch me, they could warn another security person outside the door to catch me. And it was a really big burly guy
He could really catch
who
you.
could really catch me. And then they made sure that every single entrance to and from the camp had security. Like I found a little entrance that could go outside the camp near the stage area, and there was a little entrance that led off into the back alleyway that could enter into Hollywood. And I was like, cool, if I get scared, I can go through here. And I did one time, and I got stopped, and my mom was informed of it. And
Okay.
and Deborah's like, see, our security works. She's not going anywhere.
And what a
Okay.
blessing, not just to
Yeah.
you, but for the rest of the children that are there. It didn't just benefit just you.
I agree with that.
It benefits everybody.
I agree. God
So
used
I
that.
think it was a blessing even
God used
to
that.
her.
And even like in the classroom, I had all of my teachers were informed of the signs that maybe I was getting overstimulated or maybe something. So sometimes in class, I would be allowed to step out, like a caretaker would come and take me outside the class and play with
Wow,
me in
what
the
a blessing.
playground. So it was quite amazing.
Oh,
And I want to give praise to your mom, because if it was not for your mom, Michelle,
Yeah.
That's it.
That would've
That's
never
it.
happened.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know, you're not in the background. I'm looking at Michelle. She's off camera, but my heart, it really goes to you as a mama. I mean, it really does. I have 3 sons. I'm just so overwhelmed by this because this show is about people who have had tragedies or whatever obstacles in life, and they turn their lives around. But having this and stepping out in fear, plus overcoming handicaps or disabilities,
what an amazing testimony.
what an amazing testimony. Because I had to have therapy for other reasons. And it's kept me back from taking risks that I'm just blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
So let's continue. You were
Yeah.
talking about, I want to mention this. So you go through this camp, which was a great opportunity and a blessing. Now you got a chance to also, did you record it with Debbie or one of her songs? Let's talk about that. Just amazing.
That was quite an amazing thing. She had chosen a small group of kids to take this really intensive songwriting class with her at her house.
And you had never songwritten.
Never wrote a song
Oh,
in my
girl,
life.
this is just cracking me up.
I had written.
God is the God of.
God
is, he
is
tough?
amazing.
Is he awesome?
God is amazing. And I remember I had like written so many poems, like just tons of poems about the sun, and my mom would read them. She's like, these are beautiful. And so I brought all my poems to Deborah because I was chosen to be one of the kids to do a special songwriting intensive, which I was like, that's cool. But my mom really knew what it meant. So I go and I give her all my poems, and she's reading them, and she's like, oh, honey. She's like,
This is Deborah.
This is Deborah.
Okay.
She's like, you don't understand what you have in front of you. And I was like, well, of course I do. They're my poems. I wrote them. And I'm like, it's a kid. And so she's like, no. And so she sits down at her little like disco ball piano, and she's like, and she starts like playing chords, and she's like, now take some of your lyrics and just sing along whatever comes in your head. And so I'm like, okay. So we wrote 2 songs. My first song I ever wrote was called Mark Set Go.
Oh, Mark Set Go.
Yeah, and it's a racing song about how you start at the front and like there's people everywhere and you just keep running and you just even though you trip and you fall, you got to get up and you got to keep running because you're going to win your race.
Oh.
And the whole entire chorus is like on your mark, set, go. So
oh man.
And then the second one was actually just recently re-recorded with my more adult vocals. I'm not an adult, but whatever. It's fine. And it's called You Took Me There.
You Took Me There.
And it's a beautiful little love song that I wrote to nobody, basically, to an imaginary guy about how like I feel his arms around me and how like his eyes take me to heaven. And I wrote these 2 beautiful songs with her, and she helped me record them just really roughly. And that's how my songwriting career started.
Oh my goodness.
In her little living room.
I'm sure you're going to ask her about that.
That's my next
you
question.
Look at your eyes now. You're nice and calm. See, before, we were both like,
I'm a little under the weather, so I'm trying to overcompensate.
And you're doing wonderful.
You're doing great,
I have to catch myself every once in a while, and take a step back.
I see the peace in your eyes. It's hard,
But I did want to get touch base on your faith. Where was your faith at this time? Because it seems like challenges after challenges.
Yeah.
First, what happens in middle school? Then you're taken out of school. Then you're put into this camp where your mom didn't want to let you go, but it was a great opportunity, and then got the opportunity to go because of Debbie Gibson's, what she did for you. Where was your faith?
Yeah.
To be honest, when I went to the camp, I really didn't have any faith. I was very much like still figuring out what the heck I was.
Was your family saved?
My family is very much saved. My older brother is very much into the analytical part of the Bible, like, oh my gosh, like, but
the apologetics, he knows how to, he can argue with the atheists, he can
knows.
Get in there,
he
brother.
Can do that.
He's on the front line.
Yeah, he's
Marines.
like, he starts going like, Matthew 24:18 says this, and I'm like, oh, okay, give me a minute, let me look that up in my Bible. Glad that you know it. Yep. So, but he's like that. So my whole family was like that, but for me, I was more like, well, I don't understand people, so I'm trying to figure out who the heck I am through all this.
The Lord of God, huh?
And it really wasn't until after the songwriting intensive that I, really started writing songs, and I realized that, I had a music career, and I started doing that. I just felt really empty, and I couldn't figure out why.
So you've had a touch of, what fame is.
I do.
And so please expound on that. You said you felt empty.
I did. I felt very empty. Like, even though like all these things were happening to me and like wonderfulness was happening, like it's just when I went home, I was like, no, I just feel like this is nothing. I don't like, it's not nothing, but like, I just felt like there has to be more. There has to be more.
Missing. There's a big,
there's just like a whole gap. And I was like, and I'm just like empty all the time, even though this happy stuff is happening to me and I'm happy for that moment, but that doesn't sustain me throughout the day.
Right.
So like I started like, having friends, and they took me to this church right down the street from me, and it's called Mission Viejo Christian Church.
Oh, okay.
And I went there for a while, and I kind of liked it. I was just going there for my friends so much. But there was one message right after my grandpa died. I really cried, and it was during
the song Missing You.
No, it wasn't any song that I wrote. Okay. It was during communion, and my grandpa had just died, and I just started crying, and I was like, I need what they're talking about. And I wasn't getting it there. So I started moving to Saddleback, and my mom, she had just fell out of like Catholicism. So I was like, Mom, you need to take me to Saddleback. And she's like, no, I'm broken.
She had to make her own.
Yeah. She's like,
transition.
I'm broken.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
She's like, I'm broken. I just can't. And so we went to Saddleback for a while, and I was like, and I said, Mom, I think I was like, I feel comfortable here. I want to sing here. And so she still had to drag me to auditions because I was scared. And on my first audition, I made it and I got onto the worship team. And my first worship experience, my mom was floored. And she said, Sarah, you are changing. And she's like, I see joy.
Coming out of
yeah, she's like,
what was always there, but you didn't have no way to express it.
Exactly. Yeah. She's like, I see joy when you sing to the Lord. She's like, I see your gift. She's like, you write songs beautifully, you do all that wonderfully. She's like, but when you sing to the Lord and you express to people that the Lord loves you through song, she's like, there's something there that makes me cry every time because I see the change.
And your grandmother mentions that. I know that when I went to catch you in Hollywood, I got an opportunity to meet your whole family because I got there a little early. We had just filmed the show here, so I went directly there. And the show wasn't for 3 hours. So I went and got a little bit of lunch, and then I sat and I waited, and I got a chance to first meet your grandmother. That was the first person. I said, I'm here for Sarah. She's like, so am I.
Yeah.
And she
your mom's mom, your dad's mom?
My mom's mom,
okay.
And she was a Sarah fan, she said, from the get-go. And she said the way you sang, I mean, she iterated to me, was angelic.
Yeah, that's and when I first heard it, I'm like, wow.
But then you hear that a lot from a lot of the parents. Oh, my daughter.
Yeah,
but let me tell you.
But no, but
she was right on. She was right on.
And so I had no idea any of this. How are you? You know, I got a commercial break. I was excited.
we're gonna go a little bit longer with you because after our commercial break, we're going to come back and you're going to sing live. So we're going to continue going on. I wanted to talk about your two CDs that you recorded, Dreams and Poetry. What age were you when you recorded that?
I was 15 years old when I recorded my whole entire first album of Dreams and Poetry. And I think it was like 12 or 13 songs on that album. And a lot of them were co-written because I had no idea how to make an album at that time.
And
I was like,
producers, they insist that they have something.
Yep.
Something to do with your, like you were sharing one of your songs. Is that where the song that you were sharing with me about? They technoed it and all that or whatever?
Yeah, that's when that happened. And it ended up not being on Dreams and Poetry because I refused for it to be on it. I was like, no, it hurt. It breaks my heart every time I hear that song. It's not going on it. But there was one song that is fully mine that I demanded to be on Dreams and Poetry, and it's called Dear Friend. And I wrote it when I was in New York attending another Debbie Gibson camp in the winter. And I wrote a song about this guy who I liked, and it's just it's a letter, and it says, "Dear friend, even though I'm far away, you're in the sun and I'm by the bay." It's just this whole entire letter in song form about saying like, I was too scared to tell you that I love you, my dear friend.
Oh,
so
that's true. You never did have did you date or anything during your lifetime? I mean, you're so young. How old are you now? About
I'm 20.
20. I was about to say.
I've dated a couple times, nice. but every single time they've kind of ended in disaster.
Okay,
so
well, God knows. He knows.
God knows. Yeah.
Let him. Yeah. He
God knows. But so when I wrote Dreams and Poetry, that's really like the one song on there that's 100% me. The whole entire CD is like co-written, and like you got songs like What Do You Want on there, like for about guys like going like, well, what do you want from me, my baby? Like seriously, like I'm here. Tell me what you want and I'll give it to you. And then, you just have like all these cool, like upbeat, fun songs that I co-wrote, and it was a great first album experience, and it helped me get onto the Grammy committee.
Wow,
actually, that CD.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Are you with a record label now? I think it's better to. I think now with all the technology to do it yourself because you have more. Can you imagine if you were with a label how you'd be.
They'd manipulate you.
They sure would. You would. Yeah. You think that producer took over your song, but they take over everything. I think.
Oh yeah. I'm independent, so
good for you. Well, let's fast forward to your new album, I Will Rise. Let's talk about that. What was that experience like? Because I know you're gonna sing off.
I can't wait.
Your single, I Will Rise. So let's talk about that one.
I actually wasn't planning on doing a second album. Like I had all these songs, and I was like, I just don't have time to go into the recording studio. I did that already, and I know this wonderful producer. His name's Anthony Mazza, and I love him to death. And he does whatever I want him to do. Like,
how'd you find him?
I found him through recording some of my earlier songs, like Dancing Through Life, just independently. Okay. Because the person I was working with, he introduced me to Anthony, and
we clicked.
And we just clicked, and so like we kind of moved on from that producer, but I kept in touch with Anthony because he's a great person, wonderful. And I was just like, I just don't have time and things like that. And this one man who was in, I think in New Mexico, he contacted me through Facebook and he said, I'm doing this little short film about actors and about the dangers of auditions. And I've listened to,
I'd like to see that.
yeah. he said, I really have been listening to your music. I listened to your voice and I really want to take a chance and I want you to write a song. And I said, okay. And I said, well, what's the premise of the film? And it was only supposed to be used in just a little snippet scene. And he's like, well, the main thing is the character. She's scared. She needs to overcome like her fear to go into auditions because she's heard all these horrible things about what happens in audition rooms. And I was like, okay. So, and I only had like 3 days to write a song, record, and give it to them. So I was like, okay, well, just give me my time and I'll get it to you. In about 10 minutes, I wrote I Will Rise.
Oh, and you're going to do that.
Yep, and that's the song I'm going to do. And I roughly recorded it over those 2 days with my guitarist. And it was very, very rough recording. I still have it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, but probably somebody else wouldn't hear. But you were very, very, very critical of our own stuff.
I would like to mention, just so people know out there, all our listeners and viewers.
How you can get her.
Your website, your YouTube, your Verb Nation. I know you're on Verb Nation. You can get your EPK off that. Let's mention your website.
My website right now is still in the works of getting put up, but I believe it is just SharahLongsert.com. And you can
spell that. Yeah.
Sharah is spelled with an H, the biblical version.
Okay.
After God changed Sarah's name. And then Longsert is spelled LONSERT.
Okay. That's important.
And then you can find me on Facebook, just facebook.com/Sharah Longsert. And you have totally up to date everything, always connected with me. I'm always posting stuff on Facebook.
That's beautiful.
And Twitter, same thing. Reverb Nation, exact same thing. ReverbNation.com/Sharah Longsert. So, and if you just put my name in Google, I come up.
Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Would you know Angel at all? I mean, do you
Angel Smythe?
Yes, Angel Smythe.
I do know Angel Smythe.
We had Angel on a week ago?
A week
I
ago?
went to her to give her
women's conference.
Her women's conference. Yeah. So you do know Angel. So I
do.
So you guys get to know one another.
Oh yeah, we get to know each other. And I think
that's right, Saddleback.
Yeah, I think what Angel does, like going to women's conferences, is so great. And like when I first met her and she told me what she did, I was like, that's a great idea. And so I was like, well, what tragedies and what like horrible things has the Lord allowed me to go through that I can share with people and give hope to them? And I go around the country now talking to like girls and like parents and boys and such, but mostly to parents about autism.
That's what I was gonna say. Hello, what do you? You don't even have to think about. Oh, hallelujah! I was gonna ask you, do you do that? You ought to be their spokesperson.
Yeah, I like to talk to the parents because the kids will be fine. Like the kids, like I know how I was. I was just like everyone else crazy. I'm fine. Like I'm gonna be fine.
Good for you.
So I remember that when I was a kid. The kids like they need the therapy to get along, but it's really the parents that are more affected than the kids.
The kids kind of understand they're in their own world, so it's those of us on the outside who have to get into your world.
Exactly. So I
Praise the Lord.
I like to talk to the parents because I've realized my first time I ever did it was at Saddleback. I met a person who was picking up her autistic child, and I was just talking to her, and she said, yeah, it's just been hard, and I've been going through a rough patch with the Lord because I just don't understand why He would let this happen to my child. And I said,
And she didn't know that.
She didn't know, and I said, well, what does your child have? She said, he has Asperger's, and I was like, well, I have Asperger's.
We didn't even mention that.
Right, we didn't.
Okay, so God knew. So you have Asperger's. What's the difference? I mean, you're really educating me and all of us in the audience, and
autism has a very wide range, and there's the very, very mentally handicapped form of autism. And then there's Asperger's. Albert Einstein had Asperger's.
Oh boy.
And like Asperger's is like where it's just a mental handicap, and I call it a social disability.
Okay.
Because you're not able to express what needs to be expressed except through your own method.
Okay.
Like Albert Einstein's obviously was math, and that's how he expressed his thoughts through math.
Okay.
And that's how I express my thoughts through music. So Asperger's, you are able to teach. You're able to say, look, you can come be normal with the rest of us.
Okay.
So I found like ever since when I met that woman at Saddleback and I saw how much joy and how much hope I gave her just by sharing my story, I was like, I think that's why the Lord gave me Asperger's.
Wow.
To give hope to parents, because the children are fine.
I'm sure they are. So did they contact you did you contact autism organization? How did you get started traveling with them?
Well, I started some companies heard about me and they flew me out into Kentucky, and I spoke for a women's leadership conference, and I told them about Asperger's, and and from there a lot of people just started hearing my story, and I actually got contacted with autismspeaks.org, and actually through Debbie Gibson. She said I'm sorry. Anyway, Debbie Gibson had a meeting with a man, and she suggested, I know this girl with Asperger's, and she'd be a great spokesperson for you. So now I work with them, and they're going to send me, and so I can speak to parents and really get the message out of hope.
That's a huge ministry. Huge shout out, as Tim Conway Jr., who I love, says.
And it breaks my heart to see those parents just absolutely, completely without hope, because all they see is something that they love, that the Lord helped them create, that they love with all their heart, and they just see no future.
And they don't know how to get into the world.
Yeah, and it's like no, your child has a future. Your child has it. Look at me. I have a future.
Yes, you do.
Your child has a future. Don't give up on your child just because they're mentally
handicapped. Did your mom
handicapped.
go with you too to share her story?
Yeah.
It would have to be. It would have to be. Yeah. Because you have to share. I'm talking to to Michelle. She would have to.
Yep.
From her standpoint. Well, I know we're going to
go
sing.
to a quick commercial break, and we come back. We're going to have Sarah singing off her new CD,
Yeah.
I Will Rise, and her first single, I Will Rise. She'll be singing 2 songs today.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to talk about a big benefit that's coming up for you that you're also partaking in.
Yep.
So, ladies
you
and
better
gentlemen.
do it now, maybe. You think?
No, we'll do it right in between.
Okay, good.
This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Stay tuned with Sarah singing live from I Will Rise album.
You wish you were a little bit taller and your hair was light. Your body was a little bit smaller, 'cause you don't feel right. Oh, how you're starting to think could get dangerous. Deep within yourself is where true beauty is. Everybody has flaws, we all can't get it right. Who are they to judge? 'Cause all I hear are lies. You don't have to give in to the things this world wants you to do. You are strong, you are loved, you are more than enough. You are perfectly Lately all you ever hear is the voice in your head telling you you're not enough time and again. Oh, life is so much more than giving into it. You will find your way, having strength within. Everybody has flaws, we all can't get it right. Who are they to judge? 'Cause all I hear are lies. You don't have to give in to the things that this world wants you to do. You are strong, you are loved, you are more than enough. You are perfectly you are more than a heartbeat. Your beauty is unique, and you have all you've been searching for. You're his masterpiece. Everybody has flaws, we all can't get it right. Who are they to judge? 'Cause all I hear are lies. Everybody has flaws, we all can't get it right. Who are they to judge?
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez.
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
A reality show where nothing is left unsaid
and no one is insignificant who says it.
Exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Hello, this is Angela DeJoseph. Join me Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific for the Angela DeJoseph Show. Join me as we venture into health, wealth. We're going to give you news, interviews, and entertainment. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, Live 365, Radio Flag, TiVo Radio, and now live on Facebook. Or watch and listen directly at LATalkLive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Hi.
Walking down the streets, passing millions of faces, they'll all disappear without any traces, feeling so alone and confused, so unimportant and used, wanting to be seen and wishing to be heard. I won't be deferred, I will rise through it all. I won't let myself fall. I'm gonna shout out loud, and I won't be turned, 'cause I wanna be heard. Walking past things that I fear, I'm wondering if life will become clear. There's choices to be made and places to go. My mind might just overflow. I'm scared and unsure, I don't know what to do, but I'll make it through. I will rise through it all. I won't let myself fall. I'm gonna shout out loud, and I won't be turned, 'cause I wanna be heard. I wanna be heard. I will rise through it all. I won't let myself fall. I'm gonna shout out loud, and I won't be turned, 'cause
Ladies and gentlemen, Sharah Longsert off her new CD, I Will Rise. It's on iTunes right now. You can find her on reverbnation.com. Ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing, amazing performance right now on Joy in My House by Sharah. Thank you for coming on the show, Sharah. Thank you for coming on and performing live. I want to thank your mother, Michelle, for networking and doing the work that she does to get you out here.
Yep.
Now, you have a great and upcoming event coming up, the Benefit Gala, Let There Be Light. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Before I mention that, there is something going on at autismaids.org. They're having an event up in NoHo that I may or may not able to go to, but it's a movie premiere that it's called The United States of Autism, and basically the movie is about this man who walks across the United States looking for people with autistic children to find answers for his son. So it's a great movie. If you are able to go, just type in the United States of Autism in Google and it should come up. And if you can go, please, I'd love to meet you guys there. If I can go, I'm going to try my hardest, because the reason I might not be able to go because I have rehearsal for Let There Be Light, and it's the benefit gala at the Temple Israel Hollywood, and it's to benefit the temple, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's about the first 3 books of the Bible, so it talks about all the way from Adam and Eve, all the way up till Moses at the very end, and it's all about, God's people coming home to the promised land and eventually going home to be with God. So it's going to be really fun. We sing a lot of crazy songs. We sing a song about manna, so it's great. It'll be fun.
That is Saturday, April 27th at the Temple of Israel in Hollywood.
Yep.
For more information, you can find it on the TIOH.org. And we like to close out our show before I let you go and do your last a cappella song. We always like to ask this of all of our artists and all of our guests here. What does Joy in My House mean to you?
Well, Joy in My House, I always kind of took it very much like, how do I get joy in my house, my spirit, my heart? And I feel as if you just listen to the Lord and you really listen to how to get the little victories out of life, like even the small victories and the big victories. Always rely on Him to get the joy in your house that will last throughout the day. For example, this morning, why it was so crazy, one of my friends, his name's Adam, he really, really has missed me for the past couple weeks. He hasn't been able to see me, and he really wanted to play a game with me today. So I got up an hour early to play just a game with him. And it made his day. And, the Lord told me, Sharah, you need to get up. It will make his day. And you will really, really love the fact that you spent that time with him. And, as long as you just listen to the Lord and you get those small victories like that, what I did this morning, it's going to get me through the whole entire rest of the day because I know I got that small victory of making somebody else's day. And that's the whole point of Joy in My House for me, really listening to how to make other people's day.
Thank you, Sharah. Well, I want to conclude our show. Next week, you're not going to want to miss. We have Dr. Bill Diamond, author of Fire Your Excuses, will be on. And we're going to close out today's show of Joy in My House with Sharah singing a cappella in tribute to what happened out of Saddleback Church with Rick Warren's son, Amazing Grace. This is Sharah Longsert, ladies and gentlemen, on Joy in My House.
This is for all of my Saddleback family and all the Warren family. We are all praying for you, and we love you. And just so you know, Matthew is in a better place, and he's finally home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. God bless you, Warrens, and we love you, and so does God.
That's beautiful. All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show. Join us next week live at noon. Stay blessed, ladies and gentlemen.